Hey everyone, it's Amador. So today I decided that I was going to be crazy enough and I was going to paint this hutch. This hutch. You guys have seen this in my craft room in the past. You guys have seen the craft videos. I wasn't going to record it, but I figured why not, kicks and giggles. Now, this has been in my craft room for quite some time. My mom actually found it at a yard sale. I think she paid like $10 because I told her I was looking for like a hutch and stuff, and it was painted black. I didn't paint it before I did this this faux chalk paint. And this is way before I found Annie Sloan, okay? Not found her, but it was way before they sold Annie Sloan here in the city, here in Vegas. So I looked up one of those recipes that they have online for the color, for, you know, for a homemade DIY chalk paint, and it worked in the aspect of it. It still has kind of like a glossy look. It's because you use paint. You still use latex paint, and you add. I did the recipe that has that you add water and plaster of Paris. Now it works essentially if that's what you want, but at that time they didn't sell Annie Sloan chalk paint here in Vegas. So, and this was kind of like the closest I can get to like a Provence color. So it works, don't get me wrong, it works. Go for it if that's what you're going for, because I know that Annie Sloan chalk paint isn't inexpensive. It's about $40 a pint. A quart, I mean, not a pint, a quart. But I will say that it does go a long way. It does go quite a long way. So it's well worth it. And you can see here I did the distressing, I did a little sanding. And by the way, excuse the horrible mess. There's like stuff just stacked in here, placed in here. There's all sorts of stuff just... This is kind of my catch-all right now, and as you can see, some of these things have not been changed over since Christmas and stuff. But I figured I'd just wait till I went ahead and decided to paint it. Now, I'm not going to paint over it completely. I'm going to use what I already have in there, what's already on there, the distressing with the black coming through. And the key to distressing, like people ask me, like, well, you don't make it all uniform. You know, you distress here, you distress there. Not just everywhere. Distress also where you would potentially maybe walk by and rub a piece, or like with your body, or like just furniture and stuff like that, or the natural wear, so you don't have like uniform lines going across. Like I've seen people that will like, okay, like here there's some distressing here and here, you know, because this would get potentially more wear. Some people will just go ahead and distress the entire line, so you have like, so it looks like you have a painted black line or whatever. So anyway, I digress. I'm going to keep the color that's on there. I'm just going to layer it with Annie Sloan chalk paint in Old White. I'm going to just dry brush it and have the color that's already there peeking out as well. And in areas where it's that and the black color, and it was like black spray paint, like seriously, it was just spray painted black. But, oh, and essentially the when you do the DIY chalk paint, it'll dry quickly like Annie Sloan chalk paint, which dries in about 30 minutes because of the minerals in it. This one as well. Now, I learned a very key lesson. Most people would think, oh, you know, I'm going to go paint this outside in the sun so it'll dry faster because regular paint takes forever to dry. Don't do it. Do it in a shaded area, because as you are painting one side, literally the other side is absolutely dry. And if you plan to go over it again or touch up a little space before you do the second layer, trust me, it'll be dry and it'll be a hot mess. So... and if you use Annie Sloan chalk paint, it's low OVC or AVC. What is that? Yeah. And I think they're actually working on making it no OVC at all. So there's no paint smell. There's no fumes or anything. So all I'm going to do is, enough of my talking, right? I'm actually going to take everything off of this hutch from the top all the way to the bottom. There's baskets. I really need to organize this hot mess right here. That's my ribbons. There's my paper stack for 8.5 and 11. These are just things that I have. These are pre-made cards that I have ready to use. This is just all sorts of stuff. Some bins, some crates, all of this stuff needs to be organized. That amongst my other berry baskets have to go into the box. And I'm just going to pull it away from the wall, and on here I'm going to dry brush it with the Annie Sloan white chalk paint. So I plan to record this and go along so you can see, because I had a video where I painted a vintage high chair for my nephew, but for some reason I can't seem to load it. So I'm going to try that one again. But if you guys would like to come along the ride, that is what I plan on doing today. It's a few days before my birthday. I told Nathan that I'm playing hooky, and I don't care, and that I wanted to craft and just relax and not have any obligations other than crafting and eating and sleeping. So this is going to be one of my projects that I've been wanting to do for a long time, just to kind of, I know it stands out. I love how it stands out with all of my other, here, let's see the hot mess that I'm at her house right now. I just finished that mom banner, so I had it up there so I could take a picture. All of this kind of has to be cleaned up. Look at this hot mess. Just look at it. There's stuff upside down. Hopefully there's something that you shouldn't be seeing lying around here. So I'm going to be reworking a little bit of this, kind of either breaking down or, look, these are some of my berry baskets, and that's just like 1/10 of my addiction. I have issues. And the funny thing is there's a bag over there in the corner that has like 3 more packs that I got from Hobby Lobby because they were on clearance right now from the Easter here. I'll bring one out. Hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. These, and they were like $1.30 or something like that. So anyway, this is my actual working station. This is where I do all the work and everything. Here's my cameo. I'm not going to show you that. Like, there's stuff over there now. My pegboard, my little gallery wall. I've decided to put one of these big lights over here so when I record, because sometimes I record at night, considering my shift, and you don't get the best lighting because I don't have natural lighting at night. Even though I have a big window during the day, I have that light. So I'm going to be going through all of this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be destashing, really, because I don't think I have a lot to destash at the moment. I know that's probably what some people are waiting for. But I do have to clean up, clutter up, declutter, I mean. Some of those I'm thinking of making sets of the cards and selling them. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Because a lot of the cards that I make, I do tend to make sets of them. It's a cute little snowman from P. See, look, P. Hey, P from Whimsical Endeavors. That's an amazing creation that she made. So it doesn't matter what time of the year, that puppy's there. So yeah, so I have to go through all of this. There's all of these organization things, these bins. Oh, and also if you guys saw these bins, they have those bins again in Hobby Lobby, and they also have a smaller one. This is a smaller version. It's a little bit taller from Hobby Lobby, and I got that, of course. Oh, look, you guys have to see this. This is a little sneak peek. This is a project I'm working on for paper cakes, but I'm not sure if you guys saw my Instagram post about these berry baskets for your organization by Crepe Paper. Well, I found this little tray for 97 cents at Target in the dishes section, in the dish section where they have there's like ink and junk all over it, in Hobby Lobby, and they almost match. This is more of a minty green, and this is a little bit of a blue, but I need something. Generally I use, here, I'll show you. I use my little egg crates or stuff like that, or my berry baskets as well, or these little things to hold my embellishments and stuff like that while I craft. But I wanted something that was that I can hold larger pieces like this, and that's my trash can down there. I know, fabulous, right? So yeah, so I totally like how that is, because I can have those small embellishments laying down and then card or whatever on that. So anyway, that's a project coming up. Hopefully I get that done today too. So, but that's what I'm doing. I plan to make some changes and everything and go through it. Since I've talked so much, I already see that we're at 8 minutes of me just babbling away. The painting part might be fast forwarded. And so yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a view of what it looked like. And look, I did that greenhouse up there from IKEA as well with that same paint color. So yeah, let me see. Let's just scoot over here. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. Look, fine. You guys get to see. This is the hot mess. This is what you people don't show in their craft room. Look at that. And there's a sock on the floor. Why? I don't know. I wear socks. We have tile over the entire house. So I wear socks and stuff. Okay. So that is my Annie Sloan chalk paint little section over there. So I have to find my old white and go ahead and use that. Just to kind of bring in a lighter look to the hutch and stuff. So yeah, but look, this is my mess. I have to go through this. This I have to go through, and that. So yeah. So let me know if you guys have those same challenges. Just another little look around my hot mess craft room. So come along and let's see how this puppy ends up, okay? Okay, so here we are. I've taken everything off of the hutch. I've gone ahead and cleaned it off with a rag because, of course, there is still dust. You can, with the Annie Sloan chalk paint, you just brush it onto metal, whatever, wood and everything, even pre-painted wood. But you want to make sure that you actually clean it off first, because if not, you're going to trap all of that dirt in there. So all I'm going to do now is just do some dry brushing. I don't want to coat it all the way So I do have my Annie Sloan chalk paint brushes. I have the large one and the medium. So much easier with this big one. So, and I already have out my old white chalk paint, which I have to shake up so I can get this whole thing started. Here's where I'm at the moment. Now, I was going to record me painting this, but I wanted to do a quick and dirty job kind of thing. And I will, okay, confession. I paint, because it can get hot in here, in just boxer shorts and a tank top. So I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to see that mess. So I just went ahead and took the large brush and I went ahead and just did a quick, here we'll do a little close-up, a quick kind of brushing on of the old white chalk paint. Now some of them are as smooth as I wanted it, and here I'll even show you guys here's the side. I try to go along with the grain, or at this situation a faux grain. Now I like the way it looks now. The only thing is it's not fully what I wanted. And I thought this would happen, so I wanted to start out with a light coat instead of a heavy coat, because I could have just gone ahead and started with one like nice thick coat, which you can do with this paint. Oop, knocking over stuff. Do like a nice thick coat, and excuse me, do a nice thick coat, and it'll completely cover it. But I wanted to see what it looked like with this first, and you can see there's a little bit of gradation on the line to give it a little whitewash look. The only thing is, I don't like that it has, because it was just a thin coat. Like, look, I've already used some of this paint, so I just used a little bit of paint. Really, you can see, okay, here we go. You can see that line right there. That's where the paint, that's where I started. When I started this project, that's where the paint was. You can see that little line right there. Hopefully you guys can. And that's how far it's gone down, like that much. So, and that was covering the entire thing. Underneath the shelves as well. That one could use a little bit more work right there. But I just finished that one real quick. I'll just do that. So as you can see, I hope it's coming through in the video. It has a bit of a slight like baby blue hue because it's such a thin coat. That's not what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and do another coat, lightly heavier than this one, as you can see right there, like how light it is. Basically, in most parts, to give it a deeper depth, and then I'm going to sand it down a little bit, or I'm just going to wipe it down with the damp cloth to get into like a little bit of the blue area so it shows the difference. But I want it to come out as white, not like a baby blue. It's a cute color, but that's not what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and give this another whirl. And like I said, and this actually only took me like maybe 30 minutes. Okay, so here we are. This is day 2, only because I ended up watching TV with Nathan, and I like doing my painting during the day so you can get the natural daylight. So here it is completely covered. I did like the first dry brushing, but the color was so bold from the previous paint color that I went ahead and did a full coating of it. And so this morning I was like, you know what, I'm going to leave it as is. I like it. I like the buttery old white, but then I felt like it did need just a little bit of hint of distressing. So I went ahead and I sanded it down. I did some sanding. Now I use 220 grit sandpaper. It's a purple one. It's 220. It is one of the lighter ones, the softer ones, so you can start out with a delicate distressing, as opposed to with like regular sandpaper, you will literally be stripping off chunks. And some of the parts have a little bit more distressing as others. I was remembering when I was painting it, what parts did I run across the most. So therefore, those parts would probably get more distressing. I did some on the sides. There were some parts in the centers where I just went ahead and rubbed the sandpaper. Like I said, it's just a little bit. I'm not going to give this a stain. I'm not going to wax it. I'm just going to leave it as is. Why? Because I'm nuts. And let me show you. There are some parts where there's a little bit more, and I did some things right here. Just as a note, also don't do any sanding and wiping with jewelry on, because you will end up having lines. But here we are, like where the paint and the actual wood is starting to come up. I went ahead and did some distressing there as well, because that's where the natural distressing would happen. On some of them you can see where the black paint is showing through, and on others you can see the blue paint, the previous paint that's coming through. I've done, let me see, I've done the legs. Now I haven't gotten to, you see there's all this dust over here. And I had paint on the floor from painting. I didn't put down any plastic or any lining or anything because I can just wipe it off. So here's the distressing on the side. Like I said, it's very light, but still you can see it. Hopefully I'm not making anybody dizzy. The only thing I'm going to do now is I've done this, and if you notice, like this has a little bit heavier. And also, if you ever don't like it too much or it's too distressed, just grab a small paintbrush and brush some more paint over it. It'll cover, it'll blend. The blending with this paint is amazing, so trust me. Like right here, I'm double thinking this, but I might just leave it and be like, whatever. So the only thing I have to do next is now the drawers. I will record that. Okay, so here we are. These the drawers are already in the hutch, and this is basically how I distress them. I don't go in aggressively. I start in slowly. This, like I said, I use 220 grit sandpaper. You can get it at any of the hardware stores, even like Walmart or whatever. But I start slowly and I go around the areas where it would have gotten more wear. If you go in there really aggressively, it's still sandpaper, so it will go ahead and have like a very strong, sanding. Just go ahead slowly. It's still bare paint. It's still bare on there, just not. And I like to do a little bit on the actual piece to show a little wear. And this you just really want to go slowly, because even though it looks like you haven't done anything, I have a damp rag where I just wipe off the dust, and then you will see it reveals a lot more than what you think you've done distressing wise. I try not to do all of them the same, but you do kind of want to get the edges. And on some of them you will see the black paint, some of them you will see that was sanded from underneath the other, the previous paint job I did on it. And just go slow, and in between, if you feel that you need to just wipe it down so you can see how far you've gone. Oop. And you will have dust from the sanding on the floor on your piece. I actually just like taking a baby wipe or a damp towel to just pick it all up. Now at this point I'm still debating if I'm going to sand it or not, wax it or not. It's honestly, waxing is so easy. I have 2 different waxing brushes, which make it even easier. Okay. So there we go. And, oh, you guys didn't even see that one. So this is, here, let me show you. This is how I distress this one and this one. The distressing on the knobs you do want to do a little bit differently, so it doesn't look like the same thing. And it's just a matter of going softly, see? Because it's still sandpaper, even though it's a very low grit. It's very... And if anything, you could just do... it depends on what side of the furniture I'm on. I will go rough or whatever, but I like to go soft. And start with streaks. Honestly, I've learned that when you start with streaks, you get a little bit of a better sanding. Like it's a smoother distressing. See, like that one, it's a little bit strong. But if you think about it, that drawer, seeing as where it's standing, would probably get more hit. So to offset that, I will make sure to whatever other distressing I do is not so strong. Okay, so I started distressing a little bit more, and I really wasn't paying attention. So I just decided to grab a little bit of paint, like barely any. And I like to use bristle brushes anyway, because this way I can, with the bristle brush, you get the a little bit of the coverage that you want, and still have that little bit of distressing because of the bristle brushes give it that natural, those little natural streaks. So I'm going to go over some of the pieces, but see, look, you saw how it was earlier. Now it looks more like this kind of distressing, which is more of what I want. There's a few spots, and I'll just literally just lightly tap the brush, and then just a little bit of swiping about. Let me see, where's the other one? Okay, so this one, like for instance, I felt that it was a little strong afterwards. And see, now it more fits in to the distressing that the other sections have. So I will just take another little quick glimpse to see if there was anything. Okay, so this one, I felt like this one looked a little bit less like distressing and more like just sanding off. So you can even use the paint that is on the lid. You can use the paint that's on the lid from when you open your can. Let's see, just I didn't want it to be too bold. To like right here, I got a little, because I wasn't on a ladder, I was just kind of reaching for it, and I felt like I did it too strongly. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. And you just want to do light strokes, and you go along with whichever way you did the sanding to give it that lighter touch, because you don't want to look like it had a full-on. Let me see, is there anything over here? I'm literally on the floor, on all fours. Here we go. See this? I felt like this was a little bit strong. So I'm going to go back. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy, but this is literally just basically my process. Oh, I just fell. So we're going to go here. A little bit of dried paint on there. Now, this I might go over and sand again, but it's off into the corner. No one's gonna see it. I just want to lighten up a little bit of the distressing, but I'm not taking away a lot from the actual distressing. But that is how I fix my boo-boos, because on occasions like this one here, I felt like you get a little too much distressing. I get carried away, overzealous, but it is easy fix, quick, easy brush, and most of them you can even lighten up a little bit if you want. Just use a little bit of a light touch and a bristle brush. Always use bristle brushes, because that's what the actual paint is good with, the bristle brushes. Okay, so it's late and we're going to go ahead and use the soft wax and this brush. This is the new Annie Sloan wax brush, and it's ergonomically correct. So you can hold it like this or like this, and it's so much easier than the other one. I have the other one as well, but it's a lot harder to hold. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. This is the other one, and this one has the flat surface, so you can hold it like this, and you do the surface like this. But if you have a space that has more grooves or decorative area, this works so much better, but it also will get on the flat surfaces like that. So I'm just going to do this. You just dip a little bit, so you start out like that, so you don't get too much. And as you can see, there's like a little bit darker tinge shade than there is here, this line right here. And that's what gives it a little bit of a richer look.
And when you touch it, it's a little bit smoother. But if you are able to leave a fingerprint, then you put too much on. And you can just wipe off the excess like that. So here you can see the difference. This one has a little bit of a darker shade than this one. And that is when you can tell it's been waxed. So now I'm going to do the rest of it.
Okay, so here we are. It is a morning now. I woke up early. Why? Because I have no idea. The sleeping deities hate me. So here we are. It's already dried. I've let it dry overnight. I waxed the entire piece last night. Now, waxing might seem tedious. It only took me half an hour to do the entire thing. And you can see the distressing much better. The waxing kind of brings it out. And it has more of a buttery kind of look to the entire piece. Look at that. Totally love it. Just the right amount of distressing, still with a little bit of, accenting a little bit, but not too much. So I already started to place some of the items there on the top, and I just have to put the items back. There's certain things that I'm moving out, certain things I'm getting rid of. I have so many things in the garage that I've been wanting to get rid of as well, because maybe I just never got around to it, so I might be doing some kind of de-stash. But since shipping is stupid crazy, I might do something here in Vegas. But here is the distressing. Totally love it.